Hello, welcome to another edition of Cracking the Cryptic. We're going to take a look at the Times crossword now. So I'll talk through it as I'm going and see if we can get it finished. So, quiet English officer in retro bar. Okay, well, I'm thinking this means quiet. English officer in retro bar. Okay, well, if we can think of a short word for bar and reverse it, which is what I think retro means, we're halfway to the answer. And obviously a short word for a bar is a pub. That gives us a lovely up for the second word here. So now we need something that means quiet that fits in here, and belt up I think is the answer. So E for English, lieutenant or lieutenant depending on your preference, LT is the abbreviation there. So city, no longer safe when leader is deposed. Okay, so again, if we're looking for instructional parts of clues, which are very helpful for telling you which parts of the wordplay, when leader is deposed, I think is fairly clear. It's saying remove the first letter from something. And that's all we need really, because then city, we need a 6-letter city that goes in here, that's the definition. If something's no longer something, very often in crosswords, it's X. So can we think of a city that would go in here? Well, I can think of one, Exeter. And Peter is a word that means safe. So if we remove the P from the word Peter, we get eater, add that to X, and we get the answer. So pamphleteers, article about a month, going round part of Europe. Ooh. Now here's an example of a clue that I'm not actually sure what the definition is here. So let's move on. Tap part of body around start of this medical procedure. Well, again, tap part of body around start of this. Start of this looks like a T. So I think this is going to be something test probably for a medical procedure. Part of body. Part of body could be a chest. So if we put the part of a body around the start of this, we would have this construction at the end. And a tap is a pat. And I think a patch test is something that you might use to detect allergies. So I think that's what's going on with that one. Not an easy clue. 11 across. Free wild animal man had brought roundabout. Free. I think this probably means free, but I can't see what the answer is, so let's go on. 9 across. Writer of articles about wine, European reds principally. Okay, well, again, the word principally is actually what gave me the answer here, because principally I thought it was indicating, let's look at the starting letters, but well, perhaps European reds, but I think E can be an abbreviation for European on its own. So I was thinking this is likely to be the construction, just because of these last 3 words here. And now I need a word, so therefore I need a word that means writer of articles. Well, there's a very easy one we can put in there, which is reporter. And about is re, R-E, wine, port, and then ER we've already discussed. So not terribly difficult, again, once we understood how to read the clue properly, which is a lot of the difficulty. So, officer leads lots of people across lake in small boat. Well, here, I haven't really thought about the clue. I've keyed in on small boat, and I can think of the name of a small boat that would fit this pattern with the R there. I'm going to write it in, it's coracle, and then see if it works with the wordplay. So, officer could be a commanding officer, CO, leading lots of people. Well, a race would be a lot of people. Crossing lake, L can be an abbreviation of lake. So there we go. That one was a bit different. I worked far more on the definition on that clue than on the wordplay. So cancels, something off or out, I would think. Fresh order of rolls right away in cheap eatery. Cheap eatery, yeah, okay, well a cheap eatery could be a cafe or a caf. And I really like caf there, because that would allow me to write off at the end of this. Now if caf's right, that A has to go there. So again, I'm working very much on wordplay again here. So cancels, calls off, that would seem likely, wouldn't it? So let's write that in and see if we can justify it. Okay, so a fresh order of roles. So we've got an anagram here of the word rolls with the R removed, right away being indicating we remove the right. 6 down. Somewhat uplifted. I'm already thinking this will be a reverse hidden. So I'm expecting to find the answer actually in the clue. Future volleyball fan, where you can see reversed in the words future volleyball, the word lover. And the lover is certainly a fan. So there we go. Group, siesta, every other missed. Well, a group is a set, and you can see every other letter of the word siesta. If we just look at the odd letters, we would find S, E and T. 10 across, devout, sort, or devout sort, not half bleary after 5 religious books. Okay, well, there is a word that probably only come across in crosswords, which is votary, which I think is a devout sort. And here we've got 5, so V being the Roman numeral for 5. Religious books are the Old Testament here, OT. Not half bleary is just half of the word bleary, ARY. And votary, I think, is the answer. So, because nobody rises in the morning. Because nobody rises. I'm wondering if because could be the word for. So I'm wondering if this is something like forenoon or something. It is forenoon. That's a very old word, I imagine. You can see because is for, F-O-R, and then nobody is no one, reversing. And rise can be a reversal indicator only in a down clue. That's something that's very important. The word rise obviously indicates something going upwards, and therefore it can't be a reversal indicator in an across clue. 12 across. Verger finally collected money after church service. Ceremony is what I'm thinking here. I haven't quite understood why, except it fits, and it's certainly a service. So verger finally, that must be this R, I think. Collected money, that's an anagram of money. After church, well, CE is an abbreviation for Church of England. So there we go, we've understood the wordplay, we've sort of backed into the answer there. Pantomime cat, showing up thus in tights. I have no idea. Well, no, I have no idea. I am thinking this might be the name of a pantomime. What about Mother Goose? Again, I'm working purely here on the definition and a guess, and I'm going to try and understand it. I can see how cat showing up would be a reversal of the word tom, and obviously a tomcat is a type of cat. Thus in tights, well, hose is a type of tights, H-O-S-E, and ergo for thus is inside hose there at the end of that. Very nice wordplay, very nice indeed. Right, let's try and do one of these long ones. In courtyard, I'm thinking quad, but that's not going to work. Dislike new display. In courtyard, dislike new display. I'm not sure. Mostly the vicar seems distraught when his busy time begins. Christmas Day? Christmas Eve? I'm sure that's going to be the answer. I can't quite see why without writing it down first. It's proper weather out there at the moment. So mostly the vicar, I think that's indicating it's most of the words, most of TH probably followed by vicar. Seams and then anagram of seams. So I think it's just most of the word the. There's probably only 2 E's here. Yes, there are. I'm just going to pause it when I check that the windows are shut. Right, sorry about that. Back now. What should we look at? Let's look, we've got an A here. Plug record on telly regularly showing proficiency. Well, yeah, okay, so plug is an advert. So ad, very often used to as an abbreviation there. Record, well, that can be an EP or an LP, but EP works nicely here. And telly regularly, well, now we need to take the odd letters of the word telly. And if we do that, we get TLY, which gives us adeptly, which means showing proficiency. Let's have a look at this one. Cities to disappoint fans, are we told? City. Okay, well, I think again this is going to be the Toulouse. It's the French city. It's a homophone. So if we say the word Toulouse, it would certainly disappoint our fans if we were to lose, and that's what's being hinted at there with the wordplay. So, familiar melody from opera company, French 1. Tune, something tune, I would think. French word for one is obviously un or une here, une, you can see there. So, familiar theme tune, maybe. Ah, yes. So, the Met is an opera company, and that's followed by une. Oh, this must be egg. For instance, e.g., award winning item of pottery. Egg cup. GC, George Cross, I think, is the award it's getting at. And then if you're winning a game, you're up. So egg cup there. Quite a tricky wordplay again. Seafood and beef, you say. It's another homophone. Muscle. Sounds like M-U-S-C-L-E, obviously, which would be a word for beef. So, cleric visits Cathedral City. Well, Cathedral City will be Ely, very often used in the Times crossword. Cleric visits Cathedral City regularly. A cleric could be a ven, I think. V-E-N. It's definitely, I can't remember what it's short for, maybe venerable. But it's certainly a valid abbreviation for a cleric. So evenly looks good. Let's look at this one. Oh, this is our pamphleteer. No. Repeatedly check gauge of railway for train. Check can be CH. Choo-choo. Repeatedly check. Ah, it's a railway gauge. Is that 00? I bet it is. So it's just repeating that, choo-choo, and that obviously is a child's word for train. 100, too old for treatment. Coverage. So 100 is this time another Roman numeral, so this time it's C, obviously, and then if you're too old for something, you're over age. And coverage means treatment. Girl disconcerted rival. Avril? I'm wondering if it's just an anagram here of rival. Let's see. Smoker, to think over giving up. End. To think is to muse, which would be some in reverse. No, not sure. Ship with loud speaker. One disconnected. Ship. Should be able to get that, but not seeing it. Classmate question mark. Precisely. Nice clue. Formally, I think is the answer. Now why? Well, your form ally would be your friend in class, your classmate. And precisely means formally, so very nice. It does look like Avril now, doesn't it? So let's go for that. think what else it would be. So ship with loudspeaker, tweeter, woofer. One disconnected. Loudspeaker. Whaler. A whaler would certainly be a ship, and I guess okay, with is here is W, and then a hailer, H-A-I-L-E-R, is a loudspeaker, and that we can remove one from that to give just the H-L-E-R we need. So a smoker is probably a lum, which is the word for a chimney, and mull is the verb to think, and mull without its last letter is just M-U-L. Reverse it, we get L-U-M, which is the answer. Okay, so in courtyard, dislike, new display. I need a word for courtyard here, I think, or I need to put that around. Yeah, okay, so if we go for a word for courtyard, patio maybe, presentation, that's going to be it. So what have we got here? We've got dislike, which is resent. We've got patio around the edge of the word resent, because we're putting the resent in the patio, followed by N for new, and presentation obviously means display. Let's go back to this one. Pamphleteers. Article about a month. Going round part of Europe. Pamphleteer. I think pamphleteer is going to be the definition here. So I need somebody who was famous for making or distributing pamphlets. Article, that's probably the. About a month. October. Thomas Paine, perhaps. Now why? Article, the, about a month going round. A reversal of AMO. MO can be an abbreviation for month, and then Spain as being part of Europe. So Thomas Paine's the answer there. Not easy. Right, so free wild animal man had D-lash, something like that. I'm thinking of man had. If you were to shorten that, you would say he'd, rather than man had, you'd say he'd. Now, and if we reverse he'd and bring it about a word for a wild animal, we would get this sort of construction. So how about detach then? So that could be around cat for wild animal there. So I'm going to go with that and submit. Good crossword today. Lots of interesting stuff. A couple of good homophones. And hopefully we're going to see lots of green words any moment now. Don't want to see any pink. Gosh, it's taking its time. Must be the weather. There's a little bit of, there we go. So all correct, and yeah, I hope this was an enjoyable run through. See you again next time on Cracking the Cryptic. And please, if you are enjoying the channel, do subscribe to us, do like the videos, and do follow us on our new Twitter account at Cryptic Cracking. And yeah, we'll see you again soon.